There's so many routes that you can actually take in the world of software development, and one of those routes that I'm sure most of you already know of is freelancing. I feel like a lot of people can actually get very intimidated by it because it's essentially you running your own business. And so now the question that I hear a lot of is freelancing still worth it in 2021? And I'm here to kind of answer that question and guide you down that path, because to me personally, I do believe freelancing is generally a great idea no matter what time it is, but from 2020 to 2021 now, I think it's probably the best time to get into freelancing. And in this video, I'm going to cover some of the reasons why I believe freelancing is worth it this year and why you should get into it. And with that, there are so many different tools and resources for you guys to resource in order to actually get started with freelancing. And that brings me to today's sponsor.
This video is being sponsored by studywebdevelopment.com. You can start up your own freelancing business and build up your clientele with the bundle that they offer, which includes things like an easy to read 100-page ebook. Everything from marketing to the coding itself, all that you need to know is provided to you. You even get website templates that allow you to build websites even faster and get up and running right away. If you're interested in being your own boss and or creating an amazing and fun side hustle, then check out studywebdevelopment.com. The link will be in the description.
So now that I've shown you Study Web Development and that resource, let's get into some of the reasons why I believe freelancing is the way to go and what benefits may come your way should you get into the space. One is that it literally requires minimal resources to get started. All you really need is an internet connection and a laptop or some sort of computer. As long as you can code on it, it doesn't need to be fully spec'd out. That is a common misconception here. People feel like they need to have the top of the line equipment in order to get started with coding. As long as you can do some sort of work on it when it comes to coding, it really doesn't need to be that resource intensive. You can get started with freelancing. Literally, I would just recommend some budget laptop if you're on a budget, finding a coffee shop, or just, again, using the internet at home. And those two are the only things you realistically need in terms of materials to get started with freelancing. Aside from the coding skills and things of that nature, you can get started today if you wanted to, right? So along with the resources and those materials, you're well on your way to becoming a freelancer and your own business owner as well. So don't get discouraged if you're seeing people on social media, or even me myself, where we have some of these cool pieces of technology, these cool laptops, these Mac minis, or whatever it is that you see online. You don't need those to get started. Again, it really depends on your situation and your financial situation, what it is you can afford and what it is you're going to get into. But if you're willing to get into this space or software development in general, then get what you can afford, and that's what I recommend you get and purchase in order to start coding and or learning how to code / freelance. Number two is it's a very great way to gain experience. Whether you're a newbie and you're just getting into the space, or you're someone who has been on the self-taught route for a while now and you're looking to make your resume more attractive, freelancing is the best way to do that. Of all routes, I personally think that freelancing is such a great way because, one, you gain practical experience. You're making meaningful projects for real clients. Whether it's a company or a small business owner, still it is a practical project that you can then put on your resume and show to recruiters and hiring managers that, hey, I've made something meaningful here. A customer / client is actually using my product / website that I've made for them. Here's what it is, here's what it looks like, here's what it does. And it just shows them that you have practical experience, that you know what you're doing, and that you know these languages / frameworks already. So it's not just on a piece of paper that, hey, I know these things. It's, hey, I've actually used these things on X and Y projects. Here's what I got for you. So again, just to reiterate, freelancing is such a great way to show people that you know what you're doing in a practical sense. It's not just going to boot camps or going off of tutorials online and showing them that, hey, I got the certificate. No, there's actual projects behind you that you can then show off when you're looking to get a full-time job or some other form of a full-time gig where you may need to show a resume or a portfolio where there are actual projects that you've made. Not only that, but it actually adds a form of pressure on yourself where you are actually working with clients now that are paying you in a sense. So these projects mean something, and you actually have to become resourceful yourself. You know, you're forced to create a project from the knowledge that you know, and if you don't know something, well, then you're actually going to look things up and get the job done. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be a front-facing project. Most of the time, freelancing is going to be websites, so those websites need to look good and function to what spec the client gives you. So again, you're forced to perform, you're forced to be resourceful and actually learn new things, right? So again, if you're on the route of a self-taught dev, such as myself, freelancing forces you to actually build a project from the ground up and utilize what it is you've been learning for the past couple months or however long you've been learning. Again, I will always reiterate this point because it's one of the most important things, is that you become resourceful and it's a practical way to apply the knowledge you've learned. So go out there and, you know, mess with the CSS, right? It forces you to really hone in on your weaknesses and really get into the thick of things so that you can actually get the job done. It's not like just building a side project for yourself where this side project is, you know, you just want to get the job done, you have an idea, so you want to put it together, but you may take a couple shortcuts here and there. No, the client has a request that they're making to you and you have to fulfill on all those points. There are no shortcuts there. And number 3, which I think is probably the most attractive one for all of you, is that you get to set your own prices here. Freelancing in itself can be a full-time gig or it can be a side gig, but at the end of the day, you are your own boss and you get to set your own prices. I think here is where people may get, you know, flustered or a little confused as to, hey, how much should I charge? But really that's ultimately up to you. That's probably, again, one of the most attractive things, is that you could make a huge ton of money in freelancing or just do it as a side gig and not charge as much but get a lot of clients. So the potential with freelancing is super high with this aspect right here, because again, there's a lot of people in the space that are looking to improve themselves, but also, you know, a lot of people freelancing right now don't have any other gigs going on. Freelancing can and could be your full-time gig, depending on how much you are charging for a website. I've heard some crazy amounts thrown out for websites that people are making, and it's ridiculous, but also super cool that people can literally live off of freelancing with a couple clients and a recurring payment method with those clients. So it's pretty cool that once you get your feet wet and you're moving in the space, that you could realistically not have to work a 9-to-5 job and work for yourself full-time. So those are just a couple things that come with freelancing that I feel like personally is very, very beneficial to you guys and could prove attractive if you are thinking about going into the freelancing space in 2021. And not just in 2021, but in the years to come. I feel like, again, I've said this at the beginning of the video, that there is no bad time to get into freelancing. If you want to freelance on the side while you're working a full-time job, go for it. You get to create new things and go into uncomfortable territories in order to create something that you really want to, and work with other people that you may not have talked to before. Or if you are looking to get into the industry and you need some practical experience behind you, this is a great way to flex your skills and just keep progressing in your careers. 2 routes can come from that. One, you stick to freelancing and you just keep growing your clientele, or you use your current clientele right now to then leverage it and get a full-time position as a software developer or whatever role that you're trying to look for. The opportunities are endless when it comes to freelancing, and I genuinely believe that if you are up and coming as a self-taught dev, this is something that you definitely give a try. You know, again, be uncomfortable. A lot of the themes that I talk about is becoming uncomfortable. One of the mottos is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That freelancing requires a lot of people to network, a lot of cold emailing, cold calling, especially now where a lot of clients are remote now. You know, you don't necessarily have to go out and, you know, meet people in person. You can literally look at your local businesses and see, hey, I think their website could be improved. Let me reach out real quick. Let me find a contact email and hit them up really quick to see if they need a new website. And bam, if they reply yes, you've got your first client, get a contract going, and boom, you're off to the races. So if you're actually willing to give it a try, give freelancing a try. Again, I've mentioned this in the middle of the video. Go check out Study Web Development. Look through the resources that they give you, the book that they offer you, and a bunch of other templates that they give you are so worth it. I've done it myself. That's how I got personally up and running with freelancing, and it has proved beneficial and has really, really helped me when it came to me freelancing at the time. And up until now, where I finally have a full-time gig, I can attest to freelancing and really say that it's helped me get me to where I am today. Again, the resources that they give you literally couldn't make it any easier for you to get started in freelancing. So go give them a try. Check them out in the link in the description, and I guarantee you will not be sorry. But with that all being said, I hope you guys got something from this video and found it informational. If you guys have any questions in terms of freelancing, hit up Kyle from Study Web Development, or you can message me as well and I can relay the information and or answer anything that I may understand or know of. But that being said, that's gonna be it for the video, and I wish you all luck on your endeavors in freelancing. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.